And take a moment to settle yourself in some good posture. Okay. Drop your attention into your body. All right, so what a gift it is to have an hour to spend caring for yourself, being present with yourself. So let's really try to be here, instead of letting the mind wander into the past or future or the imaginations. Okay. All right, so settle into your breath. Imagine that your lungs are there not only to breathe, but to support, where you have a lot of scaffolding, a lot of internal structure, not just your bones. A lot of times we envision our bones as being our support, and of course they are. But there's so much more than just our bones that supports our posture. So feel into the way your breath supports your posture. Feel into the way your shoulder blades can soften downward to help you open through your chest. Allow your ears to draw back slightly so that you are aligned head over tail. Imagine the 360, not imagine, feel the 360 nature of your torso. And let it all expand in every direction like a sun that's shining outward in all ways. Up, down, out, sides, everywhere. Ground through your pelvis. See the roots of your legs finding their way into the earth. And when you're ready, place your hands together at your heart. Take a moment to feel into an intention for your practice. What would you like to cultivate and allow to move? Release the hands. While you're sitting here, let's have a moment of a seated cat-cow. So put your hands on your knees and roll back so that you feel yourself coming onto the back edge of your sacrum. Chin tucks towards chest and open up the back side of the body. And then when you're ready, go ahead and open up the front side of the body. Lift the chin, bring the shoulder blades down and toward each other, arch the back. And then one more time, rounding the spine. Notice your breath as it moves in and out. And then a nice openness through the front of the spine. Okay. And relax. Inhale. Bring your arms all the way up. A big circle round. One more time. Arms up. And a big circle round. Finding a twist. Lift one arm up and bring it to the outer knee. And just notice how easy it is to awaken your spine while you're sitting. We haven't done anything you can't do anywhere sitting in a chair. Come back, second side, hand to the outside of the knee. Breathe well. All right, and then come back to center and notice already what something as simple as a seated cat-cow and a little twisting can do for the body. And come to lie down on your back. Stretch out through your spine. And then reach your arms overhead And let's enjoy waking. So, move your hips. One hip hikes, the other hip lowers. Just finding that sense of space and movement. Relax and bring your knees into your chest. And rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, let's open the knees and bring them back. Open them and bring them back in toward the middle. I'm just feeling a little bit of rocking as you loosen your hips up. And then hold your knees and circle them one direction. And, you might find, depending on how your back's doing today, you might find some spots that you're like, oh, I didn't know that was a little tender or a little achy or sore or whatever you're finding. So just kind of take notes so that you can be very mindful in your practice of caring for yourself well. Right knee comes in and then left knee comes in. Move a little faster, right knee and then left. Just feeling into a little teeny bit of core, helping you along the way. Move through your breath. All right, and then stretch your limbs out, wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your ankles and wrists. Just feel some movement in your feet. A big breath, stretch into your limbs, and as you exhale, knees come in, chin comes up. Again, opening up the body, spreading your limbs wide. Exhale, close things up. A third and last time, feeling that sense of big open space. And then relaxing, knees in, head towards chin, towards chest. And then let's roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. Okay, so as you start to find cat-cows, and notice how beautiful it is to awaken the vertebrae, to feel into whatever it is that's available for your body to move right now. Listen to the breath. After some rounds of some cat-cow, let's feel free to move your spine any way you want. Let things limber up and soften. Become a little more fluid, a little less rigid. Letting all that fascia in your body warm and soften. All right, and then stretch back, curl your toes under, stretch back so your feet broaden and open, hips toward heel. Relax your neck. And then come back up onto all fours. We're going to do some rib cage rolls here. So imagine yourself inside a tube and you're going to drop your ribs down over to the side, up, over to the other side, and just see how much mobility you can get in your rib cage. Of course, your thoracic spine is going to be doing a lot here as well. And go the other direction. Notice your breath. Feel your shoulder blades, your sternum, your collarbones, your ribs, even your arm bones adjusting to what you're trying to access in your ribs and spine. And then again, back to child's pose, this time toes nice and normal. See if you can let the shoulders open, inch those fingers forward to whatever place you can get them. And then lift underneath your palms, like suck up underneath your palms, like you have a lift underneath your whole underarm, all the way to your armpits, through your ribs to your pelvis. And then relax that and soften. Walk the hands over to one side or the other. You can take your knees as wide or as narrow as is comfortable for your body and breath. The neck is soft. Open up the other way, feeling that sense of extension to the other side. Head is relaxed and melting. All right, come back to center, come up onto all fours, swish your spine. Okay. We're going to inhale, reach one arm up in the air, pause here before we come into our twist. Just pause and enjoy the openness across your shoulder. And then exhale and slide that arm underneath you, twisting. Feel the rib cage move with breath. Okay, come out of there halfway. So you're facing the ground now. Drop back towards child's pose. The arm is still underneath you and just feel the outside of the shoulder capsule open. This can be a tender spot for a lot of people, so just notice what's happening in your body. Okay, and then undo the posture, lift that arm back up in the air and place that hand on the ground. Okay. Come to the second side, lifting your arm, pause here, breathe here, feel the chest expand. And then let's walk that arm underneath you, twisting. Let your head be gentle on the ground. The neck is nice and free. Breathe well. Keeping mobility in your spine and all the ways it moves is so important. Okay, let's square ourselves a little bit more toward the ground. Drop your hips back toward the heels. You're going to slide your shoulder out a little bit, but we're still with our arm underneath us. Wide collarbones. Feel the outside of that shoulder open. Inhale. Reach that arm all the way back up in the air. And the hand comes down. Dog pose. Okay, so feel into the reach of the body, enjoy. Okay, so take some time here to find your posture, pedal your feet. You can knead your feet, you can pick up one foot if you want. Same with your hands. What kind of work do you want to do to feel more, to get that sense of grounding and yielding with your hands and your feet? As you contact the ground and sink in, rise up, feel the heart lift to the pelvis. Try not to collapse through the shoulders, especially if you're hypermobile in your shoulder joints. Be mindful to not sink. Reach upward instead. So feel the shoulder blades move on the back. So we're not gluing them. We're letting them slide. Relax the neck. Breathing deep. And walk your feet forward, come into Uttanasana, relax your neck. Feel free to wag your tail. Find any kind of movement that you want in this Uttanasana. Bend your knees, relax and bobble your head. All right, when you find a halfway lift, enjoy. So hold hands on blocks or thighs and pause here for a moment. Let's stretch open the spine. Stretch open the legs, widen the feet, get them to spread. Feel the arches lift up to the inner thighs and outer hips. And then on your next exhale, melt. Hold again, knees bend. Drop your seat, rise up, bringing the arms to the sky. Extend and lengthen open. Maybe a little bit of a lean back if it feels nice. And then let's cactus open the arms and feel that back body start to engage. Exhale and round forward, another cat-cow vibe, but now we're standing. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace your fingers, press your palms straight up toward the sky. And when you do this, feel that your shoulder blades have the ability to slide on the ribs, that we're not stuck. Okay, so we're not trying to pull our shoulders down. In this moment, let them move. And release your hands. Hands straight out to the sides, fingertips pointing up. Do some circles here with your arms all the way from your shoulders. Neck is nice and soft. Fingers are pointing straight up toward the sky. And then land with your arms back a little bit behind your shoulders. Lift your fingertips, spread your palms, and then relax and shake out your hands. Interlace your fingers behind your back, open through your chest, bend your knees, and let your arms leave your back. Bobble your head a bit, breathing deeply. And then release the arms. Step back, foot into a lunge, right foot forward, left foot back. All right, now as you find a lunging posture, pay attention to how your hip flexors feel in that back leg. Let's put our knee down for a moment, just so you can really feel into the opening of that hip flexor. The chest is getting big and open. Breathe deeply. And then lift that knee off the ground and let's bend and straighten like we often do. If you want to lift your toes up off the floor and tuck your chin, you can. You don't have to. So just find that movement of your front leg bending and straightening. Spine is spacious. All right, round your legs. Settle yourself in your lunge so that you can rise up into a crescent. Reach the arms, maybe they go up, maybe they go out, maybe you keep your hands on your hips. So whatever is working for your body today, breathing deep. Open up and reach, and then cactus the arms, chest stays broad. Exhale, press forward. Rising on up. Again, chest broad. Exhale, forward. One more time. Lifting on up. Exhale. Lengthen your arms forward. Hang out here for a moment. You can always bring your arms back if that's, or out to the sides if that's better for your body. And then release your hands down onto your blocks. Back foot comes forward. Fold. Melt your neck. A halfway lift. Spine is growing. Exhale and relax again. Left foot forward, right foot back. Place your back knee onto the ground. Let your chest open and broaden. So as we breathe here, it's such a beautiful way to just let your hip flexors of that back leg open up. And you're going to lift off your knee and begin to bend and straighten your front leg. And again, you can lift your toes if you want. You can keep your toes grounded if you want to. Find your way. Try to enjoy every little bit of sensation. Ground your legs, start to feel your strength yield into the ground. Rise up, bring the arms up or out or anywhere. Feel into your lunge. Now notice what your low back is doing. Are you popping your ribs forward? Can you integrate a little bit more? You can always bend the back knee a bit if you need it. Breathing well. Okay, let's start to move. Open the chest, cactus arms on the inhale. And then exhale and press your arms forward. Big breath, rising up. Last time. Big breath. Now hang out here with your arms in front, or your arms out to the side, or your arms back. Decide what's best for your neck, your shoulders. Use your core, use your legs. And then release your hands down onto the ground, dog pose. Finding breath. Let's come forward into a plank. Steady, steady, sturdy in the belly. As you feel, you can either put your knees down or let it come down without your knees, whatever works Unglue your shoulders, move them around. And inhale to a cobra. Exhale. And melt. Take your arms out in front of you. Take a breath, wide cobra. Hang out here, extend your legs, reach through the front body. Feel the lower spine open up a little bit in front of the lumbar spine. And then exhale and relax. Okay, so we're going to lift up to a little bit of moving cobra. So shoulders are down away from the ears, the elbows are bent over your palms like they would be under your shoulders. So a little forward of what our normal cobra would be. Okay. We're going to take a deep breath and just lift the upper body off the ground and then lower it back down. Twice more, lifting up, elbows draw back, feel the shoulder blades draw down, relax, and melt. Use your core, stabilize your core before you rise up, so you know it's there to support you. Exhale, and melt. Come back down. Come up onto your hands and your knees, move your rib cage. You can do some rib cage rolling if you want, or just some cat-cows or tail wags or anything that's going to release the back bends from your body. Come down onto your forearms. From here, lift up into a forearm dog pose, so dolphin pose. Lift the hips high, press your forearms into the ground. Feel the work of your torso support you. Find a lot of those muscles around your rib cage, lifting you up away from the ground. Breathe well. From here, we're going to walk our feet back to a forearm plank. Feel into that integration. Find that full 360 core. Breathe in and breathe out. All right, walking your feet back, forward, so that we come back into a forearm plank. Lift the chest up toward our heart toward your hips. Feel the lifting away from the ground. Press your forearms into the earth. And then one more time, back to a forearm plank. Stabilize through your core. Feel a lot of your chest and your torso muscles turn on. Shoulders away from the ears. You can always put your knees on the floor if you need extra support. And then find the ground. Put your arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. Relax your shoulders for a moment. Feel your breath. And we're going to lift up just your legs. Take your legs either hip width or wider and lift your legs up. Your head might come off the floor too, but keep your arms down. And then exhale and release. Okay, we're going to lift everything up. Keep your arms down here by your sides. Inhale, lift your triceps, your shoulders, your ribs, your hips. Everything's trying to lift. Use that full back body line. And then melt. Come up onto all fours. And move your spine. Wag your tail. You can even shift your hips way off to one side, way off to another side. Move your rib cage around. Eventually coming into child's pose. You can have your arms forward or down at your sides, your choice. Now, let your thoracic spine round just a little bit. Breathe into the back of your body. All right, lift to dog pose. Notice the difference between that forearm dolphin pose and dog pose. Feel the stretch in your body. And then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Fold. Rise up when you feel ready. Now, if you know your balance is a little screwy, you can get close to a wall. Actually, let's do chair pose first. You can either have your feet together, or you can have your feet apart. You can put a block between your thighs, whatever is right for your body. Reach your arms wherever they're going to go. Maybe you're feeling like that back body is, you know, a little, not fatigued, but hopefully awake, aware, maybe a little fatigued. Just see how you feel. Keep your neck relaxed. Draw your knees back. And then we're going to slowly bring our hands down, but go a little deeper. Turn on your legs. Drop into your heels. Push it off as if you wanted to stand, but you're not going to. Feel your glutes turn on. And then standing up straight when you're ready. Find your breath. Find Tadasana. We're going to stand on our right leg. We're going to cross the left thigh over. And first, no arms, just finding the legs. So squat down. Activate your foot that's in the air. If you can't wrap your foot around, try not to let your hips turn. Keep your hips square. And then stand up, lift that knee, place your foot down onto the ground. Second side, roots, cross thigh over thigh. So a lot of weird things can happen. We can turn our hips, we can stick a hip out. See if you can keep your hips neutral. You can even keep your hands on them so you can be aware of what's happening. Don't worry if you can't hook your foot around your calf, that's not necessary. Just press your legs into each other. Feel that lymph squeeze. Okay. Maybe bring your arms out to the sides. And then stand up, lift your knee, place your foot down onto the ground. Okay, so moving lymph is another great way of kind of releasing and getting things moving for spring. Okay, so elbows come out in front of you. Let's cross your left arm over your right. Keep your feet on the ground. Shoulders down, chest lifts. Elbows lift up and forward. Okay, find your way into that top shoulder stretch. Melt your shoulders down. Wind your arms. Other arm on top. Right arm on top. You can into now if you can't squat, so you can see my arms better. If you can't wrap your arms like this, you can always just put your hands on your shoulders as well. Okay, the shoulders are down, the chest is up, the collarbones are broad. Find your way. Breathe. And then relax. Okay, so just let that go, let your shoulders soften. We're going to come back to that pose in a little bit and put it all together. But first, let's just have yet another chair pose. Arms up. Exhale. You can bring your hands to your heart or out to the sides or down or up, whatever you want. Feel that your weight is dropping and sinking. Imagine that you're trying to stand up, but you can't. You weigh too much. So you're just moving into that push. You feel the hamstrings and the glutes turn on, that it's not just your quads that are holding you here. And then stand up straight. Arms coming to the sky. Okay, separate your feet wide apart on your mat. All right, so understand the feeling of this broad, open space, open chest. Spread out your wings, your legs, your arms. And then we're going to turn our feet out and we're going to do moves through some goddesses. So arms up, exhale, squatting, dropping some energy down. Inhale, lifting it back up. This time we're going to stay down there and lean forward. So just big open squat, elbows inside your knees. Just get used to your legs being open. Feel the forearms kind of press into the knees to stretch open your inner thighs a little bit more. Spread open the feet. Breathing well. And then come on up, back again. Arms to the sky. Exhale. Hands coming down. Inhale, rising up. Move slowly. All right, this time we're gonna stay. So, if you have a knee that's a little vulnerable, my knee's been hurting me lately, so sometimes squatting doesn't feel good. So if that's the case, come a little higher. You don't have to always be so deep. Drop your feet, so spin your jar lids so your toes pull back, your heels pull forward. Wake up a lot of muscles in your hips and legs. Breathing well. And then stand up straight, arms to the sky. Turn your right foot out, your left heel back, triangle pose. Lengthen, you can use a block if you want to. Drop into that side, open the chest. So think of everything that you're doing as the ability to just open the body, to find places where maybe you've been closed up and you need to open up. So root your feet, especially that back heel, make contact. Open through the chest. Great. And come back up. You can bring the block with you. We're going to do the same pose on the other side. Reaching that arm, extend, lengthen. Bring the hand down onto the block and feel your body get a little more free. Move your shoulders away from the ears as best as you can. Feel the rooting. Both feet are just rooting down. Find something you love. Close your eyes if you can. Find something very, very enjoyable in your body right now. Bring your breath. All right. Come back up. Turn your feet out again one more time with the goddess. Arms up. Exhale, turn your feet out, come down. Notice if it's a little easier, if you have a little more mobility and capacity in your hips. Breathing deep. Arms go anywhere you want them to be. Lift your chest. Try not to lean forward. Stand up straight. Turn your feet straight forward and come down to rest your hands on a block or on the ground, whatever feels good. Wide, wide legs. Relax your head. Heel toe your feet. Coming back to the center. Uttanasana, bend your knees, wag your tail a little bit, let your head loosen. And rise up when you feel ready. All right, so coming into eagle pose, drop some weight into the right leg, cross the left leg over. Right arm on top of left arm. So left leg on top of right leg, right arm on top of left arm. Squatting. Okay, try not to turn the pelvis, face forward. If you need to hold on to something, you can do that. Or better yet, you can stick your butt against the wall or a chair or a piece of furniture so that you can do both the arm movements and the legs. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Squeeze your arms, squeeze your legs, squeeze your armpits, lift your chest. Breathe. And then unwind the posture. A big standing star, let the rush. It's like having a dam on the river and then opening up the dam. Back center. If you're dizzy at all, make sure you're leaning on something or holding something. Sometimes this can affect your blood pressure, where it can make your blood pressure lift and lower. So if that makes you feel dizzy, then always have support around you. Standing on your left leg, cross your right leg over. Notice your pelvis. Try to keep your hips square. Now we'll put our left arm on top. So our right leg is on top, our left arm is on top. Squat. Let your peripheral vision take over. Squeeze and breathe. Relax your neck. Soften your gaze. Spread open your hands and your feet. Squeeze your arms, your armpits, your legs. Big diaphragmatic breaths. And then unwind when you feel ready, a big standing star. And then again, folding forward, thigh bones move back, legs are straight. Relax your head down. Turn back to the front of your mat for dog pose. Enjoy. Feel the length in your body. All right, come forward into a plank. Sturdy and steady. All right, put your knees onto the ground. Grab your blocks if you feel like you need them. We're going to take our right foot forward and our left knee on the ground. So first, just climb up onto the blocks or even onto your knee with your hands so that you can feel that beautiful opening in your hip flexors. Have a breath there. Now, this is not for everybody, I know. So if you need to stand up and do a thigh stretch that way, do that. Otherwise, take your left hand on the block or on the ground. Reach back with your right arm and pick up your left foot. Okay, so coming into a quad stretch, lean forward onto the front. You're really on your thigh bone, not on your kneecap. If your knee wants to splay out your front knee, hug it back in. Find the twist in here. Breathing deeply. So if you're not in this pose, you're standing, holding onto your foot, or using a strap around your foot to stretch your quad. All right, relax, come out of there, and let's go ahead and find child's pose in between. Just let that deep flexion in the hips happen. And then come forward with your left leg. Foot on the ground. Enjoy just stretching through your quadriceps and your hip flexors, really. If you can't be on your knee or your flexibility is not there for whatever reason, you can stand up. You can stand up and grab your foot and stretch your thigh. Come up onto your knee with your hands. Feel the extension of the spine. And then if you're ready, you can stay here too. But if you're ready to go a little deeper, hand on block, and if you're going to use a block, put the block on the low height. Definitely don't be on the high height because this is wobbly, okay? Or hand on the ground. Reach back with your arm, pick up your foot. If you can't reach your foot, you can always use a strap. Finding your breath. Try to get forward on your quadricep. Now, let me show you this from the side. Keep doing it. But if you're like this at right angles, this is not going to be fun for your kneecap. Try to get your knee further back so you're really in a lunge to begin, so that when you come into this pose, you're really on your thigh bone, not on the center of your kneecap. Breathe deep. And then when you're ready, come out of that posture and come into child's pose. Relax for a moment and breathe. All right. Come on to your belly. Last of the back bends that we've done a handful of. Okay, so grab onto your feet. Now remember those back bends we did in the beginning of class where we were working with the back body line. So feel that here. Wake up the back of your body. Feel the muscles between your shoulder blades, along your spine. Kick them into gear, grab onto your ankles and lift everything up. Keep your knees in line with your hips. Let your breath move you. Just like we did the Gomukhasana, the eagle pose, to kind of squeeze lymph. This posture will get into that deep lymph in the belly. So let your breath move well. All right, and then relax. Put your hands underneath your forehead. Pick up your feet on windshield wiper your knees. Just relax your back. Come up onto all fours. Move the spine. So we're going to find pigeon pose. See what it feels like. If you need support, I'm taking a blanket. Okay, right leg forward. Of course, you can do reverse pigeon pose or any other posture that your body would prefer to open up your hip. Blocks can be used if you want to have that sense of uprightness first. Lengthen through your spine and then start to reach forward. Blocks can be very helpful underneath your head. Okay, right, regardless of whether you're on your back or on your front, see if you can allow your head to rest. Melt your neck, your shoulders. Find some good breathing. Let's breathe into the open space of your body. Let's come into the other side when you're ready. If you like doing dog pose in between sides or any neutralizing pose in between sides, by all means, go ahead and do that. Okay, so no two sides are the same. You might need different support. I have a blanket underneath my back thigh and front sit bone. But maybe you're on the ground. If you're leaning over to one side like this, try to take some support underneath that sit bone so that you can balance your pelvis. And blocks are nice in the beginning if you want to just feel that extension, that open spine. And eventually finding your way. If you want, you can stay up the whole time. If you want to rest your head down, go ahead. Make sure your neck is nice and melted. How is your breath? Can you slow it down? Can you widen it and broaden it? Let's come out of there. Come onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Just relax. You can rock a little bit if it feels nice. Let your head get heavy. Your feet on the ground. Let's scoot our hips over to the right. Bring your knees up and drop them to the left. Breathing well. Up the shoulders. Coming back up, bring your knees up. Bring them over to the other side, twist them the other way. come back up. Come into happy baby pose or simply grab onto your knees, whatever feels good. Just let your back relax. Now we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Yay, everyone's favorite. Okay. So I'm going to try to do this with as much support as you have at home. So get out all your stuff. I'm going to have 2 blocks stacked with a bolster on top of them. Okay. I'm going to grab 2 pillows, 1 for each arm. And I'm going to grab 2 blankets, 1 for each leg. And I'm going to put my sweatshirt on because that's a always good preemptive thing to get warm and stay warm. Okay. So I think everybody's familiar enough with this posture. The soles of the feet are going to come together. You're going to sit on the floor in front of your blankets or bolsters or whatever you have. You can also just be out flat on the ground. And then you're going to take the soles of the feet together and let the knees butterfly out. Having blankets to support underneath your knees so that you have a nest. Think of this as your nest pose. And then I'm going to use the blankets underneath, the pillows underneath my forearms. If I had 1 more blanket, which my cat is sitting on, so I can't get it. But if I do. I would put this, I am going to put this underneath my head for a little extra support. Now, if I had an eye pillow and another blanket, I'd put it over me and the eye pillow on my eyes. If I had a sandbag, I might put them on my thighs, right at my groin. So, use what you have. The more you put on, the more you take off. So the more support you put on, the more tension you take off. So this is not a pose about feeling a stretch somewhere. This is a pose about being supported so that your body can totally surrender. Think of Shavasana. You want that melting quality. So once you get into your, once you got all your stuff and you're here, adjust anything. If you settle and you're like, oh, not so comfortable there, need a little more support there, make adjustments. And then once you do, see if you can soften into stillness as best as you can. Concentrate on opening the whole central channel of your body. So the sleepiness of winter, you get to just slowly coax our bodies open, our energy body open. So feel into the skull and let it relax. Melt your jaw and your tongue and let your throat soften. Feel a sense of freedom in your chest. Letting the breath move well. Release any tension from your diaphragm. Your belly move. Free up your belly. Breathe into the pelvis, pelvic floor. Is there anything guarding, holding that you can surrender? Let's bring our arms a little wider. Open your throat a little more. And take 3 very high volume breaths. Let all your breath out as well. You can stay put for Shavasana if you're really happy. Or you can straighten your legs and keep the backrest underneath you, but put support underneath your knees. Or you can get rid of all of your props and lie down on your back. Or any choice. Be on your side, on your belly, anything that feels good to you. As you return to the deep places, whether they are flat on your back or with support, allow your body to come back into that state of surrender. You're resting, finding a deep sense of ease in the body melts. Return to your breath over and over. Warmth is a really good thing. Make sure you're warm. breathe in. Start to move your body. Small or big ways. Eventually finding your way onto your side and up to a comfortable seat. As you place your hands together at your heart, let's feel the heart lift and open again. Take a beautiful, full, big inhale. Offer the grace of your practice, your energy, your efforts, your focus, and send that to someone who needs some awakening, some opening. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.